Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of our entitled parents. In today's episode, my mom thinks she's getting my non-existent baby. Entitled mother leaves her children in the kids section of a department store. My boyfriend's mom insists he's replacing his family with mine. Before we get started, make sure to subscribe so you will never miss a video. So let's get started. My mom thinks she's getting my non-existent baby. So, to preface, I just bought a new house and had recently set up an Amazon list for things I'd like. One of the items was a baby bottle dryer that I was planning on using for reusable bags. I do not have a baby, I am not pregnant and not planning on having a baby anytime soon. I hate kids. It was just cheaper than other dryers I was seeing. This led to confusion from distant family. They worried my fiancé and I were pregnant. They know we don't want kids. It was cleared up quickly. Yesterday, we met to eat with some family that came to visit from out of state. The topic of the baby rack came up and we all laughed at the confusion. Somewhere in there, my mother announced that if my fiancé Annie got pregnant, she'd get a new baby, as in the baby would be hers. We never talked to her about this, agreed that this was a thing, or even confirmed this. This is not the first time she's mentioned this. She has also stated I would live myself if I found out I was pregnant, which isn't true. About a year ago, she did try for a baby but was unsuccessful. She was actually fixed shortly after due to a medical issue. I know she still wants a baby, but I don't know where she got the idea that I'd give her mine. She was a terrible mother to me, and if I go through a pregnancy, I'm keeping it. As much as I dislike kids, I'd rather raise mine as compared to let it go through what I did. Edit, I'm unsure if any of you will see this, but my fiancé is officially scheduled to get a vasectomy. Be prepared for her to start agitating now about how you promised her a baby and you had better hurry up and deliver one. Black. I still don't know where she got the idea from. Is this a new breed of Karen? This isn't the first story where I heard about a potential grandma referring to an unborn grandchild as my baby. Kinda creepy, really. My mother-in-law did this often. We pointed it out every time she did it, so much that her daughter, 13, started to copy us. It didn't deter her. I'm 28 and Hub is 26. We also told her we didn't trust her at all, so she wasn't allowed to be alone with our child. 2. We're now non-contact and she's trying to use her daughter to wriggle into our child's life. It only took her a year of BS to be blacklisted from us. That's a new record for her. We still see my sis-in-law, but only if her mother isn't there. She still asks how her baby is doing after sis gets home. It's gross. Go no contact and keep track of all the crazy stuff she says and does. If you ever have a child, she will definitely come for you and you will want to legally put as much distance between her and the baby as possible. I second this because also if you were to have a kid and she had any access to them, she'd probably end up telling them how you never wanted them and how she wanted them and blah blah blah, just start all this drama and hurt an innocent child in the process. I have a younger relative that is doing life skills with a real baby that cries, needs to be fed and changed, and requires a $500 deposit before the students can take the baby home. Get her one of those. Set it to cry nonstop at random intervals. Tell her to get a puppy. Maybe you can get her one of those realistic baby dolls for her at Christmas. It's amazing to me that a woman approaching menopause would want to raise another child. I love babies, but I have no desire to raise another kid. Entitled mother leaves her children in the kids section of a department store. We're going back in time to 2004, when I worked at a chain department store. Let's just call it Le Bonbon, huh? I was 22 years old at the time and floated between the departments. That evening, I was covering the kids department by myself, facing and folding, fixing the tables, checking the changing rooms, etc. A woman with 3 small children, let's say 3, 5, and 7 if I had to guess, was at a table pulling out shirts to hold them up and then tossing them back in crumpled heaps, forming a pile. Her kids joined in, making a mess as well. Ugh. I'd have to straighten and fix the entire table. The woman and her kids move along. I fix the table, which takes some time, before returning to the counter. I hear kids laughing and shrieking. Close to the counter in the kids section, we had a little round sitting area facing a wall of TVs. Various kid-friendly shows played on low volume on each screen. It was a chaotic scene to behold. The 3 kids were there jumping and climbing all over the short benches. No mother in sight. I do a quick search and cannot find her. I get my manager next. LP is pulled in. We talk to the kids, who are super hyper, to get their mother's name. We call her over the loudspeaker. We wait. No one comes. Our LP contacts mall security. They call her over their loudspeaker. 10 minutes later, she comes storming in, furious, a bag from another store and a huge cup from the food court in her hands. She demands to know why we called her. We explain the situation with her kids being left unattended in our store. She flips out, stating that the girl, she points at me, is there to watch kids in the kids section, and that's why there's a big wall of TVs there. It's so mothers can go shopping stress-free. LP and my manager tell her that's now how it works. She asks if we have any idea what it's like to go out shopping with 3 young kids in tow. She is frothing at the mouth. At this point, her kids are tearing up tables again, running and screaming, having a blast. She is asked to leave and throws her cup of soda at the floor. Before we can do anything else, she grabs up her smallest child and shrieks at them that they are leaving. Le Bonbon is the most horrible place ever and she'll be calling corporate about our misconduct. It's been 20 years. Sometimes I still wonder how those kids turned out. Back in the olden days, my mother would leave us in the toy department and go shop. She would tell us not to go anywhere else and to behave. Most of the time there were other kids whose mothers had left them in the toy department to shop. Of course, we never tore the place apart, because being in the toy department without supervision was a luxury we didn't want to lose by acting up, and we would have gotten our butts whacked. Different times. You could leave me anywhere for hours, completely happy and no bother to anyone, as long as I had a book to read. You know what's crazy? When I was a kid, our parents and grandparents could and did actually do stuff like this, but we knew if we did anything wrong, we'd get the hell beaten out of us, and so we entertained ourselves, but didn't get in trouble. I met lots of kids that way. Our folks would even make us clean up the toy section. We'd complain that we weren't the ones that made the mess and they didn't care. We'd end up leaving it better than we found it as often as not. Different times. To be fair, back in the day, it was not at all unusual for parents to allow children to wander off to the toy department while they shopped for boring stuff. The big difference between then and now? Children were taught how to behave in public and wouldn't have dared act out like these 3 because they would have known that they would be punished and no longer have the privilege of visiting the toy department while mother bought stockings/garden gloves/shirts and underwear for dad. Adam Walsh was left in a toy department while his mother was shopping. That horrible incident made people rethink leaving their kids unattended. 15 years at Toys R Us. Every day there seemed to be some parent using us as a daycare. We once found 2 boys 8 and 9 hiding in our bathroom after closing. The mom forgot to pick them up. By the time the dad showed up, the cops and CPS were already there. He was at home on the couch when mom comes one and asked where the boys were. She had completely forgot. I couldn't imagine leaving my youngsters in a store so I could shop stress-free. I'd be more worried about them and unable to shop. My boyfriend's mom insists he's replacing his family with mine. My female 20 boyfriend, male 19, wants to move in with me. We decided on moving into my parents' house because I have my own bathroom, a larger bedroom, and the downstairs kitchen/living area. At his house we would only have his room and a shared bathroom, so obviously this is more ideal for us 2 and my cat. We've been dating 11 months and are happy and in love. We just want to have more time together since we live about an hour apart. When my boyfriend told his mom he was moving out, she absolutely lost it. He did tell her in the middle of an argument about another topic which he has acknowledged was wrong and apologized for, but she has not forgiven him and still brings it up. She cried and they talked it out together, he cried too. But she proceeded to text him later and tell him how she's done trying and they win, referring to my family. Ever since this things in his house have been awkward, especially on his car rides to work where he carpools with his mom. The more they talk about it, the more upset she seems to get. She has told him that he is replacing his family with a new one. His brother feels like he's trading him for new brothers. Our relationship is one-sided and we only do what I want to do. She has nothing left, she has another son. It's a bad idea because he won't continue to work toward the career he wants. She didn't do Thanksgiving for the rest of their family and won't be doing Christmas either. He won't talk to her anymore if he moves. My opinion about the whole ordeal is she has the boy-mom mindset, because she isn't married and hasn't been a long time. I think she has that weird boy-mom relationship with him to replace the husband she doesn't have. I also think everything she's doing and saying is very manipulative. I think she just wants him to stay home no matter what it takes and what she has to say. I feel like there is so many details I'm missing, so please feel free to ask questions. I was really looking for advice on what to do or say to someone who claims they are not mad at me, but continues to act this way when I take her son from her. I think genuinely that the biggest tell she has in regards to this being entitlement rather than actual justifiable hurt is the way she says she'll have nothing left while she has a whole other son she's clearly okay using as an example in an argument. It's shitty and I'm sorry, OP. He's 18 years old, she should have been planning for his departure anyway. Personally, I think you're moving a bit fast, but that's just me being a parent. Even if I didn't agree, I would let you learn on your own. You're adults, albeit young and immature, you can make your own decisions, and be accountable to the outcomes. Just let your boyfriend deal with his mother and stay away from her. Let your boyfriend handle his mom. No matter what you say to her, she will not listen. Unfortunately, this is a lesson she will need to learn the hard way. Your BF has a choice here. He can give in to his mother's demands and probably live a very lonely life, because she will never think anyone is good enough. Or he can stand up to her, get her to realize she can either accept him growing up or really lose him. If you made it to the end of the video, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe and share, and we will see you in the next video.